I made $40,000 last month selling AI websites and also other AI services. And today I'm going to show you exactly how I do that. I have this simple 3-step system right here. And as you can see, this is a screenshot from my payment processor. We did 44K. Sometimes we do 30K, sometimes we do 50K. It really depends on the month. So the very first thing you need to do is figure out what niche you want to target. There's niches like HVAC, roofing, painting, all these different niches, and then you have to outreach to them, figure out your pricing, and then you get a client. So it seems pretty simple, but there actually is a lot of steps involved. So I'm going to show you right now. So if you look up HVAC near me, a lot of people do have a website and a lot don't. So as you can see, this guy doesn't have a website, or this guy doesn't have a website, this guy doesn't have a website, this guy doesn't either. But these are all potential candidates for clients. Even if we go on some of these guys' websites, a lot of the time their website sucks. Like, this is not converting anyone. This is not gonna, okay, this one might convert some people, but this one really sucks. So pretty much we make websites just like this and sell it to our clients. It's very in depth. These forms work and they submit to the clients, and also we generate these images for ads. Later on I'll show you all of this also with AI, and as you can see, this is going to convert much better than this. For example, here there's just a call now button. This free estimate button is a little bit strange. It doesn't really do anything, but here they can literally submit, and if they want to call, they can call. So what I highly recommend you do is just make a Google sheet and just write down all of these guys' phone number and also their company name. Now if you do want a shortcut, you can actually use AI. So what you can do is literally go to Claude, type in find HVAC companies with no website near me in Miami or whatever location you're in, make a list of 100 websites formatted with the phone number, email, and name, and then we send that, and now we just wait. So as you can see, Claude generated me a giant list. All these guys have no website. Some of them do have websites. It's a list of 100, and what you're gonna do is literally just call all of these guys and pitch the services. Now I know cold calling might sound scary, and it really is when you first start out, but it's a skill that's very useful. A lot of people like to do cold DM, cold email, but why I highly recommend cold calling specifically is because you're gonna learn the ability to actually sell. So when you get on the sales calls, you're not going to just completely bomb it, because you're going to get the skill of talking to people. Now, if you want to scrape more leads, you can also get this extension called eScraper, and then you just look up your niche in Yelp, for example, and then you're going to click Start Auto Extract, and there's a bunch of different scrapers. You can just find the latest one in the Chrome store, and it's going to start extracting. See, now it's 20 results, then it's going to be 30 results, and you could just let this run in the background for a few hours, and I'm just going to stop it right now, and then I'm going to click Export. Now, they're going to make you pay. As you can see, the free plan is 200, but I have 384. What you can do is you can literally just screenshot this or copy and paste it, throw it into Claude, and say add these to the list, and now you're gonna have like a really big list. So as you can see, I just threw that into Claude and it actually added these to the list right here. Now even if they have websites, most of the time you can still pitch them other AI services, which I'll get to it in just a second. So I highly recommend you still cold call people who do have a website, because even a lot of the times the websites suck. So now you found your niche, you got some leads, and now let's talk about outreach. So when you cold call them, you're not going to try to sell them there. What you're going to do is you're pretty much going to try to get them to book a second meeting. Now there's a few different outreach scripts, which we're not going to go over too in depth right now, but what I'll tell you right now works best is giving them some kind of value. We're calling that a lead magnet because it attracts leads. So this can be things like free websites. You can say, hey, I made you a free website. Hey, I made you a free ad. Hey, I built you this AI system. And you're just going to tell them to show up to a second call, book them in via Calendly or Go High Level. You pretty much just have a calendar link that you're going to send them, and then they're going to book a call, and on that second call you can actually pitch to them. Now when you pitch to them, I highly recommend, if you're a beginner, to start with a free trial. Now free trials are not favorable to you, so I only recommend doing a 14-day free trial, not a 30-day free trial, because that wastes too much time. Now during this free trial, you're going to do a few things. You're going to set up their website, you're going to set up their CRM, and then you're going to set up ads. These 3 main things they're going to get in their free trial, and pretty much you want to launch these as soon as possible so you can run ads, and so you can show them that you can actually make them money. So the website is really just the hook, but the main service is the ad, because websites, yes, they can pay you $300 for a website, but for ads they can pay you 2, 3, 4, 5 grand every single month. And that's how I make all my money, because I make my clients money with Facebook ads. Now if you don't want to offer a free trial, which who really wants to offer a free trial, there's a few different things. So number one, I recommend you do a 10% or 20% revenue split. So every lead you bring them, you get a percentage of it. That's why I highly recommend for your niches, you pick high ticket niches: HVAC, painting, roofing, plumbing. The reason I say that is because if you're working with car detailers, or you're working with a cleaning business and they only have $100, $200 jobs, if you take 10% of that, that's only $10. But if they have a $10,000 HVAC installation, that's $1,000 in your pocket. And then also, if you're doing retainer, you can charge them $1 to $2 grand, no problem, because they're going to get multiple of those jobs. Now, after your free trial, I'm just going to tell you right now, you should charge around 2 to 4K per month. Maybe if you're starting out like 1K, 2K per month, but I right now currently charge a 2K a month upfront fee and then 1 to 2K every single month after that. So this is really a setup fee. We set everything up and then we charge 1 to 2K a month to run ads. Now, during this setup fee is literally for me to do these 3 things, which right now you're going to have to do for free. So you're going to pitch this a bunch of times until you get your first client. Now, whenever you get your client, we have to set up their website, we have to set up their CRM and their ads. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So I'm here in a mock account and I highly recommend you get this software right here. It's called Go High Level. If you want to use my affiliate link, you get a bunch of free bonuses. Click the link down below. But pretty much you can build websites here. You can have an entire calendar system. You can have all your contacts right here. As you can see, this will be all contacts for your actual clients and for your leads. You can set up a bunch of AI automations, and they also have AI agents. They have voice AI, they have conversation AI, and all this fancy stuff. But the only thing I recommend that you're actually going to need to do is opportunities and automations. And let me show you this in a live client account. So for example, this is one of my clients, and every single time a lead comes in, pretty much goes into the sales pipeline that I help my client actually use. So a new lead comes in, it comes here, then we tell them that as soon as a new lead comes in, they're going to get a text with the automations that we set up. Then they're going to call the leads. If the lead doesn't respond, they go to follow-up 1. And then once they're in follow-up 1, pretty much what happens, the actual customer is going to get a bunch of messages. They're going to get messages like this. They're going to get an email, they're going to get a text, and if they don't respond, they're going to keep getting even voicemails. They're going to keep getting all these follow-ups for like 2 weeks until they respond. Craziest part is that your clients can actually use this chat inbox. They can also call from here. So it's an all-in-one tool. You're also going to use it to build websites. They have this really neat tool called AI Studio. Now in AI Studio, we can create websites just like the one I showed you. So what we can do is we can actually steal their website and make it significantly better. So what I'm going to do is actually copy all this information. And if you're just starting out and you don't want to pay for a lot of subscriptions, I recommend Go High Level. It's $97 a month and you get everything you need, unlimited AI credits for the actual websites. But to make it a little bit fancier, I'm going to use Claude first. So Claude is this really cool tool called Claude Design, and it's the best website designer I've seen. So we're going to create a new project. We're going to call it, what is this company's name? Vice Mechanical. So Vice Mechanical, and then we're going to click create. So we created it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste their information. I'm also going to paste their logo. So I created this really quick prompt that just says, make this website for my client, make it much nicer, make sure it's interactive, not a simple plain AI website, but has actual images you can scrape from Google. You can also have a unique personality. It should have a landing page that collects people's information. And then I pasted all the information and I gave it the logo. Now I'm going to let it make a beautiful website. So you can do the same thing in here. It's just not going to be as creative. So it's usually going to be a simpler site like this, and you can prompt it to make it much better, but Claude Design is generally much nicer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the template here, and then I'm going to put it into AI Studio right here, where it's going to create the website based off of the website we create in Claude Design, so it can have that same level of pizzazz. So as you can see, boys, this is what Claude Code gave me. It's actually so good. It doesn't look like the normal AI websites you see on Instagram or TikTok or what people show, because Claude Design actually is just much better. It makes actual beautiful websites. Like, this doesn't look like a generic copy paste template. This is like an older client where we did have like a generic copy paste template. This is kind of how it looks. You know, they all look like this, but with Claude Design, you can make it really stand out and have personality, which most people like. What I did is I took all the code and I just put it into the actual AI Studio in Go High Level. And I said, just recreate it. And it pretty much made the exact same website. If I didn't do that, it would just look like the AI website I showed you earlier, just super generic. But this way it has actual personality. It even scales down to mobile really nicely. But yeah, this is pretty much, it took me what, 20 minutes, and I set this all up. And the best part is that you can connect this to the CRM. So if I say in the chat, connect this to the CRM, it's going to connect this. So pretty much whenever they fill out this, or if they're at the top, you're going to say request a service call, and then you're going to have this little form that they fill out, next step, whatever it is, this week, planning ahead, whatever, next step. They fill out in this information. Pretty much take this information and you can connect the CRM right here, and it takes that information and it actually puts it into the opportunities section of the pipeline right here, and then it'll be like new lead. boom. And you can actually set it up that it actually texts the client or sends the client an email and says, hey, there's a new lead in the system. And then you can put it here and then put it here and then put it here. And it's pretty much really, really good because selling basic websites, you're not going to make your client a lot of money. So you can't charge a lot for that. But this way you can make your client a lot of money, because now what we're going to do is actually run ads to the actual CRM. And now how do we actually create the ads? Well, luckily you can also use AI. So if you want to ball out on a budget, just get Gemini and you can use Nano Banana Pro. But if you want to spend a little bit of extra money and have a much better model, so now we just have to create the ads. And the best part is that you could do it with AI. So I was literally making ads for my own agency. I was trying to make these really funky ads. My intro offers $297 a month for the website, and then I upsell them the ads. And I was making a bunch of ads. I can literally pump out, like I pumped all these out in like 20 minutes. This is just for getting clients. You're cold calling, which is a little bit different, but let me show you some client ads I've actually made. So this right here is some client ads. Let's say they are actually a construction company or remodeling company. You can make before and after photos of the same exact bathroom, so it looks super realistic. You can make it look like it's under construction or just finished construction. You can make it look like it's brand new, right? You can do a bunch of stuff. And all I did is I just went to Pinterest and I found reference images of other bathrooms that I already thought looked good and remodeled. I attached them and I said, generate me an image of a modern bathroom, UGC iPhone style. Use the layout of the first picture, but make it modern like the second picture. And then I just got a bunch of images, and that's how I got this before and after. And honestly, it looks really good. You would obviously throw this into Canva, add some text on the ads and make it a little bit nicer. And if you look at my private mentorship server, by the way, people are getting like 5K a month wins. It's insane. Now, if you look at my private Discord, you can actually see that my students are making a bunch of AI ads, and it can also do the text, and some of them are made in Canva, but these ads literally print. So these before and afters are definitely AI. They also use 11 Labs AI to put voiceovers over videos that clients send them. This is another AI ad. And as you can see, like, we have a bunch of AI ads. This is all AI ads, and they print. Like, you'd be surprised. They actually do it really well. Let me try to find another one. I saw some weird issues with the AI, so I sent it. But this, I remember, is fully AI right here. This before and after, it doesn't exist. And by the way, my students are printing 5K a month from Toby. Here's Ian signing a client for $1,750 a month and $647. Here's Ian signing another client for $1,250 and $500 up front. And if you are interested in working with me, click the link down below. I'm also hosting a free masterclass on May 28th. So if you want to sign up, I'm going to go way more in depth into the business model. It'll be like an hour and a half long, so you can join down below completely for free. But here's 11 Labs. This is pretty much where you can make voiceovers. So I'm going to show you what this sounds like.
Hey there. Are you a Miami resident looking for a one-stop shop for bathroom remodeling? Well, look no further than LRS Construction.
So as you can see, what you would do is you would just take this, use CapCut, layer it, and then put a bunch of clips you can find from TikTok or videos from your client, and then you upload all this to the Facebook Ads Manager. So here's an example with a client we just started. So unfortunately his ad account got restricted, but we're going to solve that. But pretty much, as you can see, we can go into the actual ads and I'll show you what they look like. This is just simple video ads. We barely started anything, but they're pretty much dynamic creatives, which I'll show you what that is in just a second. But we have a bunch of video ads, all voiceover with AI. They obviously sent us the footage, but a lot of the times you could just steal the footage from TikTok and just layer it under the videos. But these are absolutely beautiful. Now let me show you some static ads. So this campaign right here is absolutely printing. We only spent $400, $4 cost per lead. We got a bunch of leads. This was for a cleaning company, which I don't recommend because they can't really pay that much, but they're still doing pretty good, $5 cost per lead. But we did run some hiring ads for them. These were fully AI. So we're hiring residential house cleaning, blah blah. It has all this stuff, fully AI, by the way. I didn't even touch this up in Canva or anything, just simple AI ads. These are hiring ads, so it's pretty much for people to get jobs, but they absolutely printed, and they were able to hire cleaners for like $20. So that's another service that you can offer. But pretty much, let me actually show you how to make a campaign. So you just click create, you click a lead campaign, you click continue, and then once it loads, you can name it whatever. I just do like DB my initials, and I'll be like which campaign, so third campaign. Then you can pick either campaign budget or ad set budget. I recommend starting out with ad set budget. I'll explain in just a second. Then you click next. Now with ad set budget, you have more control. So if you want to have multiple ad sets, and it's pretty much like 3 folders. So the main folder has a campaign. Inside the campaign, there's 2 folders or 3 folders, however many ad sets you have, that's another folder. Now inside that folder, you can have more ads. For example, one folder you can only have video ads, and the other folder you can have photo ads. Meta will choose, if you pick campaign budget, Meta will choose which actual folder they're going to spend money in. With ad set budget, you can pick how much money is spent in each folder, and that's what I prefer when you're starting out. But once you're scaling, you can do campaign budget. I'll make a video on meta ads later. But for example, in this folder in the ad set, I'm going to spend $20. You're going to pretty much select when you start out either website and instant form or just website. Let's just do website. And then pretty much you'll select your pixel, which I can make a whole separate video on this. I'm just going to show you how to set this up really quickly. $20. Now, what you want to do here is select the age. So sometimes I like to, if this is like an HVAC service, I don't want to waste money spending ads on people that are 18. So I'll just put it to like 21 or 25. And then for the locations, you can actually pick specific locations. So let's say you're in Miami, like I am. We'll just go to Miami right here. And then what you'll do is drop a pin, or you could put in the zip codes, and then you can select the specific mileage. So we'll do like 5 miles. Let's say they also service North Miami. So we'll drop a pin here, and then we'll make that like 3 miles. And now we have that entire area covered. And then you scroll down. You can ignore all this. Now, what I recommend you do when starting out is use the advantage on campaign. So what this does, advantage on, it's pretty much going to make your ads cheaper because you're using Meta's AI. If you change the placement, so if you turn off like feed ads, for example, it turns it off, and you don't want to do that. But Meta does run ads to a bunch of stupid platforms like Threads and Messenger that don't really convert. So what you could do is account controls. You can click this, click edit placements, and then you can just unselect these, and so it won't advertise in Facebook Marketplace or Audience Network. And then you just save that, and then what it's going to do, it still advertises on Threads but not Audience Network, and not like Facebook Marketplace, pretty much where we don't need ads. Now for the actual ad, you're going to go in here. You can select, you're going to have to create a Facebook page for them. They have an Instagram page and then an actual Threads page. I just click use Instagram page, and then I recommend you do manual campaign, turn multi-advertisers off, and then go down, put in their website URL. Obviously you still need tracking set up and all that stuff, so if you want me to make another video about that, just let me know in the comments. I'll do it. Then you select image ad, and then you actually select the ad. So let's say we're doing this video ad right here. We're going to click next, and then for the primary text, headline, and description, you could do this fully with AI, and I'm going to show you an example of the campaign that I set up before. So right here, they're going to try to give you a bunch of AI ads. I highly recommend you don't use them. They're pretty bad. Like, what is that? Like, what was that right here? So just make sure this is off. Make sure this is also, this is actually new. They keep adding stuff. Video generation AI. That's interesting. I actually want to see what they make. I'm definitely going to turn all of these off. Meta will try to push all these AI features. Just turn them off. Now in enhancements, Meta's going to turn all these on automatically usually. So turn them off, scroll down, add music, turn it off. Make sure these are always off, because this will mess up your campaign. And Meta's really sneaky. Like, a lot of the times you turn it off, but they still turn it on. So if we scroll down, sometimes they have it on. We just, yeah, so right here you see essential enhancements. I'm going to click edit, and then you scroll down and I'll turn it off. Relevant comments is actually not bad. That's the only one that I might consider leaving on, but generally just you want to turn off all the AI stuff and then just save. And now it's actually all off. After all that, you can track website events if you have the pixel set up. And then for the call to action, usually you want to do get offer or learn more or get quotes depending on the industry. That's pretty much it, right? Now let me show you what this looks like in a real campaign. I'm going to show you this campaign right here that we were running. I think we were spending like 30, 40 a day, 35 a day. Yep, not bad. I had a specific location set up, and I even excluded specific locations that they didn't want to service. And then we just had the ads uploaded. We had a bunch of different offers. So this one was like $100 off. This one was $75 off. This one was also $100 off. From my experience, like I said, don't work with cleaning companies. Even though the ads did well, they just charge so little that it's not very profitable for them. Make sure required SMS verification is off. And then for the primary text, I did this all with Claude. So you can use ChatGPT, Claude, and I just went to the ad library right here. If you go to the Facebook ad library, and you can actually just steal other people's primary text and headline. So just go here, and then let's say your industry is HVAC. So I'm just going to look up HVAC. And then what you can do is you can find ads that used to run for a really, really long time. So this one ran since April 30th, 2021. So it has to be profitable. And I would just steal their details. So if you click see ad details, this is their specific primary text. So this is their specific headline, beat the heat with family. And this is their primary text. And their specific angle is like dogs. So you can easily recreate this ad, but much nicer, because this is 4 years old or 5 years old. It looks pretty bad, and just use the same text. So you'll definitely do better than them. Here's another one. Tired of working out in sweltering 100-degree garage, will install HVAC. Click see ad details, and then you can just copy their headline right here, and then under this is the description. So this bottom one is description, this one is headline, and this one is primary text. Just copy all of these, throw it into Claude or throw it in ChatGPT, and just say, hey, make me 5 different variations, and then put in your offer. So if your offer is, $50 your first clean, whatever it is, you can just do that. That's pretty much all I did. And then you just click here and then you click quickly duplicate. Now all these leads get sent to the website, they fill out the form, and then they go here into the funnel. And in this funnel, we're going to have specific follow-up set up just like this, where they get texted and emailed. And then after that, they usually close them. And if they close them, they put them in here. If they lose them, they put them in here. And so they can keep track of absolutely everything. Now that's how you actually set everything up for your client. So now that you know how to find a niche, get a client, deliver on the actual AI slide, and make the ads, your client can start making money. Now, if you do want to learn more about this, click the link down below. If you are interested in the mastermind, you can also sign up for that. And if you want to start using Go High Level, you can use my link down below. You're going to get an extended trial, and you're also going to get a bunch of resources and a bunch of templates that you can copy from me. I'm going to send them to you personally. So just use my link down below. There's a whole video that explains everything. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.